Well, yeah, that's
I already signed it.
No, you're not, no.
we had a guy, my nephew was there all week
Here,
long.
do this.
And they were just letting him know that he was coming. Nobody else has been sent. I don't know whether
Hey, you know what?
you can tell.
No,
that's-
Bar. Kick her out.
I'm doing well. How are you?
Kurt, how is your wife doing?
Randy?
Just got home yesterday.
Good. Yes.
She's doing well.
Good.
Phone, tractor, left steamer.
And just so you know, I'm serious about writing down all your information about all the properties around here. I think we need to memorialize some history. Let's do it. Let's put Kurt, we'll do videos of Kurt talking about of different houses around here. Because when you sit and talk to him, you're like,
I do full things to all the Sears homes.
oh, cool.
Yeah, they've identified 17 so far.
Who's that?
Presentation. Really nice outbuilding. So, you know, they're putting together like coffee tables. Sears homes. Identified 17. Yeah. She did a full.
Can we have the statement of accounts, please?
She did a full thing a couple years ago. Well, what really is something that's really interesting about it. I said this, I think.
I'd like to call to order the August meeting of the Edgewood Town Council. If everybody would rise, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's take a few moments before we start tonight. If you're a praying person, say a short prayer for the number of people, not just here in Madison County, but around the state of Indiana, especially central Indiana, with the flooding, the loss of property and loss of life, and just all the folks that are hurting right now. Thank you. You may be seated. Ms. Tanner, maybe have the roll, please.
When I call your name, please state here or present. Mr. Reed?
Here.
Ms. Barron?
Here.
Mr. Lee?
Here.
Mr. Pickett?
Here.
Mr. McCord?
Here.
Mr. Farren?
Here.
Let the record show all council members are present.
Okay. All right. Fire report. Chief Daniels.
Council, good evening.
Good evening.
Council, residents, special guests, thank you for being here tonight.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Todd Daniels, Fire Chief for Edgewood Fire. We're gonna go over, I'm gonna review some of the things that's happened throughout July. Edgewood Fire responded to 52 total calls for service. The operational tempo remains steady compared to last month. The training compliance and community engagement continues to be one of our top priorities. Calls for service breakdown year to date We've had 436 calls this year. Some of the emergencies that we have seen, we had 38 calls, 13 residential with 9 transport and 2 mutual aid transports. We've had 1 allergic reaction assist person. We've had 3 back pain. We've had 1 cardiac arrest. We had 1 chest pain. We had 1 head injury. We had 1 injured person. We had 1 medical alarm. We had 3 OBGYN. We had 2 overdose. We had 1 seizure. We had 1 sick person. We had 7 stroke. We had 3 traffic accidents. We had 3 trouble breathing. We had 6 unconscious person. We had 2 welfare checks. We had 1. The total fire calls that we had were 14, 5 residential and 9 mutual aid. CO check, we had 1. Commercial fire alarm, we had 1. Fire investigations, we had 2. Gas odor outside, we had 2. Pole or utility fire, we had 5. Residential fire alarm, we had 1. Traffic accident, we had 1. Vehicle fire, we had 1. Significant fire incident summaries. In July, the Edgewood Fire Department assisted with 2 traffic accidents by providing mutual aid to neighboring departments. Our crews responded, supported patient evaluation, and roadway cleanup. The Edgewood Fire Department remains committed to responding to calls within the town of Edgewood and our surrounding communities. Member training and readiness. We had 171 total training hours for 29 members. That equals 6 hours per member. 118 total training hours for 22 firefighters, which equals 5 hours per firefighter. Some of the schools that we've had, we had CPR school. Edgewood Fire Department had someone recently complete CPR training, which is a 4-hour course that require hands-on training. In the month of August, department members will be taking an annual Safe Haven baby box training. We are currently working with partnering with the Red Cross on the program that will be called Edgewood Smoke Alarm Blitz. Not all details are complete, but keep an eye on our Facebook page. The Blitz is to ensure that every resident in this town has a working smoke alarm. What we know right now is that we will be out in the neighborhoods, going door to door, hanging door hangers. And on those door hangers will be a QR code. And you will scan those QR codes and we will come visit your house. Again, I love this idea, and I can't thank the Red Cross, the Madison County Red Cross enough for helping us get this done. And it gives us an opportunity to get out and speak with our residents. October 3rd, it's going to be our 4th annual fish and chicken fry. It'll be from 4 to 7 p.m. If you wish to help us with monetary donations or bakery good donations, we'll accept it. And you can get a hold of our public information officer. She's tracking all of that for us. You can get her at J. Ashton at Edgewood, INFD, it's a long email, 90 on Microsoft.com. Everybody got writer's cramp yet? And we just recently had a blood drive, and our goal is to get 12 donors, and we got 13. so I can't thank you guys enough for that. That's about all I got as far as the report's concerned.
All right, while you're standing there, Chief Daniels is to be congratulated and to be commended. He just recently completed the Chief's course.
Fire Chief Executive Training Program.
And that speaks highly of the town of Edgewood. And if I'm not mistaken, if you look at Chief's certifications, he's probably the third highest certified chief in Madison County. And that, again, speaks volumes of the Edgewood Volunteer Fire Department, because there are a lot of other departments out there. And for us to have a chief as educated as Chief Daniels is a win for the residents of the town of Edgewood. So thank you for your accomplishments.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, okay. Yes. Okay, the next order of business is we got a couple of presentations to make. We'll start with yours.
You wanna start with mine?
Yep.
This is a very exciting time for me. When I can recognize one of my own in two different ways. He's given 10 years of being the fire chief for the town of Edgewood and 50 years next April. He'll have 50 years in the Indiana Fire Service. What an accomplishment. But today, I'm gonna go over about how I wanna recognize our former fire chief, but current, let me be clear, current assistant fire chief, Del Vanderberg. So, like I said, tonight, I have the privilege, and I personally have recognized his leadership that has helped shape the Edgewood Fire Department to what it is today. The fire service is unlike most professions. It is built on traditions. We're built on sacrifice, trust, and an unwavering commitment to serving others. Every firefighter understands that's sitting along that's in this council meeting tonight, understands that while equipment and buildings and even leadership may change, our mission never does. To protect lives, safeguard property, and serve our community with honor and integrity. Leadership in the fire service is not measured simply by rank or title. It is measured by the impact left on the department. The firefighters you mentor, the citizens you protect, and the legacy you leave for those who will follow. From January 1, 2016 through January 1, 2026, Fire Chief Dale Vanderberg dedicated himself to leading this department through a decade of progress. His vision and his commitment resulted in significant improvements that will continue to benefit this community and us for many years. Under his leadership, the department has purchased a new KME 3,000 gallon, what I call the Super Tanker 99, providing a dependable water supply compatibility that is critical for protecting our community. That apparatus represents more than just a truck. It represents preparedness, it represents safety, and the commitment for protecting the town of Edgewood. One of the best examples of leadership and vision with the Edgewood Fire Department was the vision of our Fire Chief Vanderberg to improve the firehouse for the firefighters and EMTs who serve this community. He recognized that the firehouse needed more than just an equipment and apparatus. He understood that the people who answered the calls also needed a facility that supported them, respected their commitment, and provided them with the appropriate place to work, rest, and prepare for the next emergency. His vision was to add new bathrooms and bunk rooms to the firehouse. What may have started as an idea become a long-term goal that he was determined to accomplish. He worked tirelessly with the town, advocating for the needs of the departments and members, navigating the process and continuing to push the project forward. Guess what? It got done. And we can't be more thankful. The new bathrooms and bunk rooms were more than just additions to the building. They represented an investment in his firefighters and EMTs who dedicate their time to protect the citizens of Edgewood. They created a better environment for the members to operate from and rest. That accomplishment is an important part of his legacy as a fire chief. He saw something that could make the department better, developed a vision for the future could look like, and then put the work necessary to make the vision happen. That is leadership. A fire chief's responsibility is not only to manage the department of today, but to leave the department better prepared for tomorrow. The improvements he visioned is something that current and future members will be able to continue to benefit from. He also led the purchase of the modern ambulance that we have, Ambulance 94, ensuring that our firefighters and EMT personnel have reliable equipment to deliver emergency medical care within minutes when the minutes matter the most. Every emergency response is an opportunity to make a difference in someone's life, and that vision has strengthened our ability to serve this community. Perhaps one of the most important investments during his tenure was the firefighters themselves. He worked to provide updated structural firefighting protective gear, giving our members the equipment they need to perform their duties safely. Firefighters willing to accept risk every time they answer the call, but they should never have to question whether they have the protection that they need. His commitment to firefighter safety demonstrated that he understood one of the greatest responsibilities of the fire chief, taking care of his people and taking care of everybody else. The accomplishments were not simply purchases. They were investments in the future of this department, in the safety of our firefighters and the well-being of our citizens. One of the greatest traditions in the fire service is that leadership is never about one individual. Every chief understands that one day they will pass the responsibility on to the next generation. True leaders don't just build departments, they build future leaders. This is exactly what has happened here. Although he has stepped away from the position of fire chief, his dedication to the department has not ended. Rather than retiring from the service, he has chosen to continue serving as my assistant fire chief, and I can't be more thankful. That decision speaks volumes about his character. It demonstrates humility, dedication, and enduring commitment to the firefighters and to the community he has served for so many years. On behalf of the Edgewood Fire Department, I want to express my sincere gratitude for 10 years of faithful leadership, countless hours, and I know it's countless hours, and a lasting legacy you have left on me, the department. As we move forward, we will continue building on the strong foundation you helped establish. Your work has made this department stronger, safer, and better prepared for the future. So, please join me in recognizing and thanking our former fire chief, but current assistant fire chief, for 10 years of outstanding leadership, dedicated service, and an unwavering commitment to the town of Edgewood. Thank you, Chief. I have a special guest. Can I introduce him? I have a special guest that I'd like to call up here. He's the Assistant Fire Marshal for the state of Indiana, Troy Weimer. Troy's got a few things that he would like to say.
Thank you, Chief Daniel, appreciate that. I'm sitting there thinking about some of the things that were being said about the former chief and current assistant chief of the department, about Dale, and going off of what the council president had to say at the beginning of the meeting about kind of the time we're in right now as far as what many people across the state, a lot of Hoosiers are dealing with, and a lot of them very close to where we are right now in Madison County and so forth. So I appreciate those words, appreciate the thoughts. I've spent a lot of time around the state over the course of the last week, from southeast Indiana to northwest Indiana and so forth. And there's a lot more work to do as we really move into this week, into that recovery process, and really assessing what the damage might be. Dale, or Chief Vanderburgh is what I guess I should probably call you. It's great to be here, and it's great to be here to be able to recognize somebody that has given as much time and, much to the chief's point, effort over the course of the last nearly 50 years to ensure the public safety of the people that of your neighbors and the people that live in your community and work in your community and travel through your community. So I'll read this. This is from the State Fire Marshal's Office in the state of Indiana. The Meritorious Service Medal is presented to Dale Vanderburgh, Assistant Fire Chief of the Edgewood Volunteer Fire Department. State Fire Marshal Meritorious Service Medal represents several years of dedication to the fire service. In honor of Dale Vanderburgh for his 10 years serving as fire chief and nearly 50 years of dedicated and unselfish service to the Edgewood Volunteer Fire Department, the citizens of Madison County, and the great state of Indiana, we thank you for your service. If you would come up, please. Thank you. You probably want a picture without me in there.
I want a picture with him too.
All right, I'll stand between you. How's that sound?
We'll give you like that.
Yeah. All right. Congratulations, and we really appreciate everything that you've done for the fire service here in Madison County and for everybody in the state of Indiana. And it's great to be here to be able to recognize you. Now, come on.
All right, we're not done yet, Dale.
Uh-oh.
So in my tenure here on the town council, I have had the privilege of serving with, I believe, at least 3 fire chiefs. Of all the fire chiefs that I have had the opportunity to work with, I believe Patty has worked with the same fire chiefs. Dale has probably been I'm not gonna say the most dedicated, but he has been the one that has taken the Edgewood Volunteer Fire Department into the 21st century. He's the one that professionalized all the officers that we have representing this town. Our tenure together has been, I think has been great. This is my second stint as the fire commissioner, both times serving with Dale. He is a professional's professional. We don't always see eye to eye, just as Todd and I won't see eye to eye, but we understand each other. And so Dale, as council president and as the current fire commissioner for the town of Edgewood, we'd like to present you with this clock for all of your dedicated hours of service to not just the council, but more importantly to the residents of the town of Edgewood.
Wow, thank you very much.
Dale?
I figured I'd have to say something.
No.
I'm gonna sit down and get out of your way.
It's not gonna be very long. when Wilmer Wood was a water commissioner and my wife and I moved in to Edgewood on Longfellow Road, long time ago, Woody pulled into my driveway, like the second day we moved in. Everybody wasn't in the house yet. He beats on the door and says, "Hey, I need you to be a fireman." He goes, "You want to be a fireman?" I said, "I don't know anything about that at all." He goes, "That's okay, I need young guys, come on." So that's how I signed up. Okay, and, you know, it's been a fun ride. You know, I've got some great people here. I mean, these guys are, you know, you can't do it alone. Okay, and each and every one of them know that. And I think I've got their back and they've got mine. That's all the town council. I can't thank you guys enough. Patty, we were together for 10 years, you know, as president. And so we've had a lot of good and bad times, you know. But, you know, it's an honor and I'm privileged to be a fire chief here. I'm gonna stay on as long as I can handle it, you know, till they throw me out, probably. So I appreciate it. Thanks to each and every one of you, Catherine, Steve, you know, you've helped me out too before. And, you know, everybody here really made it easier on me. So thank you very much, I appreciate this.
Okay. Those of you that are here for the presentation, you're more than happy to stick around, but I know the firefighters got to get back to Monday's a meeting night?
No, I'm
Okay.
gonna actually invite anybody that would like to come over to the firehouse after the meeting tonight. We're gonna have cake and punch
More
to
celebration.
celebrate.
All right, okay. All right, moving on. Mr. Ferguson, water report?
Okay, congratulations, Dale. Last week, or last month, we talked about transparency from me to you as your water operator. I made a mistake. I have incurred a violation. Totally my mistake, I own that mistake. What happened was I forgot to take a back T sample in the month of June. So I was not able to certify the water for the month of June. So I have to put out a notice. The notice is me telling you here, you can pick up a flyer. I've got these in there at the utility office. And Mr. Pickett, do you have it on the website yet?
Yes, I should have it on.
Okay, so
I'll
it's on our
double check
website.
tonight.
What happened is I was so busy trying to get the state samples that we do during once a year, getting those done before I went on vacation, forgot to take the back T samples. Now, the violation in question is basically a slap on the wrist. Don't do that again. There's no penalty toward the town, which I would definitely take on myself. It's definitely not your fault, it was mine. This paper here will explain to you that your water during the month of June was not certified, and we cannot say it was back T or bacteria free. I think I can. For well over 10 years, never had a bad back T sample. The whole time I've here, I've never taken a bad sample. As a matter of fact, in June, July, and this month of August, I've already taken those and I've got those results back, and they're absolutely no presence of any bacteria in the system whatsoever. But being transparent as I want to be, this is me owning up to the mistake that I made. One of the things about this mistake is this mistake has to go on the CCR next year. So I will be explaining this particular violation for at least a year and a half for those that are not watching at home or don't ask or whatever. So in 3 months, when somebody decides to look at something, oh my God, we've got a violation. Well, we've already taken care of it. On this paper, it says, what immediate action are you going to take? Well, immediate action, don't forget to take the sample. That's exactly what I wrote on the paper. And I sent that back to the state. So, my apologies to all the residents, my mistake. I cannot go back and retake that sample because it was supposed to be taken in June. And here it is in August. I can't do it, so. But I can assure you that your water is safe, all in July, all in October, or all of August and now. So, my apologies to the community. Next order of business, we can talk about some flood water. I had a resident ask me just a few months before the meeting started if we had any problems. And I said, I got one call from a house over on Westlow that they had water coming up through their bathtub,
And I know what house you're talking about.
overflowing in their toilet. Said it just ran for 6 hours straight. There's nothing that the town of Edgewood can do about that. Our pumping system is pumping at max right now. It's still going right now. We've got, the groundwater table is full. If we get 2 days of not rain, it's still gonna be full. We get more rain, you're gonna see some more water just pooling up everywhere. We got so much water, it's crazy. The storm water is actually infiltrated into our sanitary sewer. Okay, so that's why every time we have a rain event, the amount of water that we pump out of our 8th Street sewers goes up triple. So we've got influences, whether it's residents have their sump pump pumping straight into the sewer system, which is illegal. We've got, I mean, we can't, I'm not going crawling underneath people's houses. I'm too big and too old, I'm not doing it. Hire a 14-year-old to do it. But, I mean, that's just the way it is.
We did smoke tests a few years ago.
We did, but it didn't find everything. And it's
It
never,
won't find sub pumps.
yeah, it's never gonna find everything. And even back in the day, people had their gutter systems that would go right underneath, into their crawl space and pump straight in. I'm hoping people don't do that, but the system shows people are doing that. Also, please remember residents, it's illegal to pump your water over onto somebody else's property. I mean, it's happening. Try to be a good neighbor, be considerate, please don't do that. I know we've been out, we've tried to clean some storm drains out. I had my summer help guy, he was out doing that again today. I need to get appropriations for the baler. I don't know when we're gonna be able to mow any of the parks, but they're extremely high. We will, bear with me, we will get to those parks when we can. I know, Winding Way is still flooded. I know the back part of Redwood Park is still flooded. They're just flooded. If you plan on going to the park, please don't drown. I know that's a joke, but you know, please watch yourselves. I have, there's with the chaos that ensued. We're, as Edgewood, we're trying to clean out everything that we can, or that we know of, or that we've been told about. And like I said, our lift stations are high alarms. They're high right now. I know it hasn't hardly rang in several hours, but it's a high alarm. If you see the red light on it, it's a high alarm, and it's the pumps are pumping. I will guarantee you they're doing everything that they can. So, as far as the town of Edgewood is going, we are trying to combat the floodwater with what we have here as best as possible.
How's our street situation?
We haven't had any damage to any of the streets, as far as I know, if that's what you're asking.
Well, just the conditions.
The conditions of the streets are good, except for the stuff that we're gonna pave in October. As far as I know, I haven't received anything that said that there was damage to a street anywhere. We've done a lot of driving around, making sure, trying to watch.
So no streets that we couldn't get through?
No, we had there was some high water over on Donnelly in front of Councilman Reed's house, and then, but we checked that. stormwater basin, and it was clear, it wasn't clogged up, it just couldn't take anymore.
But we do that for all rookie council members.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it helps my property value with the lake out front.
He's got lakefront view,
Yeah.
lakefront view.
But funny you say that. You'll have to ask your wife what I was talking with her about. The major flooding was probably at the intersection of North Winding Way or
Yeah.
Winding Way and Washington Court. There's no basin down there to take the water. That just has to soak into the ground. Carl was talking with me at one time, he said they looked into doing that, but the number to try to put some piping or some drainage in to alleviate that was pretty substantial. He didn't put a number on it, but I'm gonna guess it was well over $20,000 to do that. You'd have to try to run it back up the hill, around the corner, down Pershing to where the stormwater substation is that's pumping the water.
And that was standing water and not flowing water,
That
which
was
is, there is a difference.
Yeah, that is standing water there. You could go down there, you could see it was not moving. That's just where all the properties and the lay of the land it was just landing right there. There's no good spot for water to go except the river, and of course the river hit historical highs.
The river's a little high.
Yeah, our stormwater system pushes to the river, so, with what that was doing and what our pump was doing, I'm pretty sure it won. But the pump was trying, as soon as it stopped raining and the river started to recede, what it has so far, our system is catching up. The water that is, in some of our parks has definitely gone down. I know some of the ditches in front of some of the residents has gone down, so.
The house on Westlow, was it on the corner?
It was on the
Okay.
corner. I went back and I talked to him the next day, and he was gracious. His wife called me that night that it was all happening, and it was devastating to take that call. She just started crying because I couldn't help her. There was nothing we could do.
Well, but what I don't understand is where his house is, everybody from my house going north all had the same level of water. So did he not have a sump pump?
No, it was coming up in the bathrooms. I think what happened at his particular residence was his clean out for his sewer is so far out in the road, or toward the road, it was under a
It was
couple feet
underwater,
of
yeah.
water.
Yeah, because I saw
So
him have somebody out there trying to dig it
Water
out.
will find the easiest way to come out, and I think that's where it started coming. Now, even if he had a cap on it, there must have been some sort of infiltration to cause that. I certainly felt for the wife when she called me. I mean, it was heartbreaking. There was nothing I did. But I did, there are a couple of things that I think residents could do in the future. They make plugs, like boat plugs. You can put those in your bathtub. You can tighten those down and force them shut. There's also, I know there are backflow preventers that can go on your sewer line. Now you gotta have somebody dig it up and put it in. It's costly to have done, but if you put a backflow to where it's only going out and it can't come back, then you'll never have that problem.
But if it backs up, it's gotta go somewhere, so it's gonna come back up.
Well, the backflow preventer will explode before it allows it to come back up. Your line's gonna explode, so, I mean, okay,
Yeah, you
which
can
is,
put a
which is
check
more
valve.
cost, yeah, you can put a check valve
Yeah.
backflow preventer.
And you can even, instead of having bringing an excavator out, you can hydro excavate, they can hydro excavate down to the sewer,
Yeah.
and then they'll put a check valve, so when the sewer's backed up, obviously you can't use your sewer, but it basically prevents you from getting inundated by
In
the
house.
system.
Yeah,
So, cause it's a one-way check, so
yeah,
you're
because
not gonna get.
I had a plumber look at possibly doing that for me,
Yep,
and it was gonna be a little bit of money.
sure, but I mean, you have one or two events, it pays for itself.
Yep,
So,
because I've had 3 events.
Okay. So,
Boy.
unless you guys have any questions for
No,
me.
we're good. Anybody have anything
at the
for us?
moment.
Before we shift gears, Jessa, did you have something you wanted to talk about? She's still
Yeah.
here? While we still have the street department?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're good with it, you good?
Yeah.
It kind of goes along to what he's talking about. I'm Jessica Ashland, the Public Information Officer for the Fire Department. Talking about the flooding, as you guys know, Anderson, Pendleton, Chesterfield pretty much got the worst of it. Anderson is dealing with a lot right now. Emergency management is out doing surveying on damage. Hazmat teams are out as well, checking those residences. If you guys would like to donate or volunteer, we ask that you guys go through the Heart of United Way. And their website is heartofindiana.org, and it will have a volunteer spot. And then somebody will be in contact you as to where you guys are needed. Another thing is, if you have any damage pertaining to the flood, call 211 to report it. That goes directly to the state. And then they will tell local emergency management, hey, this house has this damage or whatever.
Can I ask a question pertaining to that?
Yes.
And because I know we got some water experts here. Does that also entail folks that have issues because of crawl spaces?
Ooh, I don't know.
I would suggest if it was me, I'm calling and reporting it. I'm letting somebody tell me no, rather than making that decision myself.
Because I would imagine for a lot of residents in Edgewood, the crawl space is going
It's
to be
probably-
the biggest issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I will get with, the EMA director about that. I talked to him earlier today. This is kind of just some of the stuff that he wanted me to go over.
If you can get an answer on that, that'd be
Yes.
helpful. And
Yes.
push it to me and then we'll push it out.
Yep, that sounds good. I do want to caution you guys, if you are gonna donate products, monetary donations, make sure it's a legit company. Right now we have a lot of spammers out there. Again, I'm gonna push for, United Way, the Heart of United Way of Indiana. That goes directly to Madison County. That does not go anywhere else. It stays right here in our town.
Turnaway's been designated as a spot to give
Yes.
donations to, and we've been
Yes.
giving them out, we will for probably 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes, there's designated spots, which I'm working on getting a list, and we'll get that published on our social media. I do wanna thank the town members for listening to our warnings, that helped us out tremendously. We did not personally have any water rescues or anything here in town, which was phenomenal. Our guys did go on a couple assists, one, like 2 in Anderson and 1 in Lafayette Township. Which the Lafayette Township one was kayakers on the White River.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, our firefighters did a fantastic job. They all jumped on board. We're at the station. If anything happened, they were there. Thanks to these guys for all they do. Emergency management has been extremely busy. Everything that they're doing. The county highway crews have been out. A bunch of local partners. We were able to get 8 boat safety vests donated to the department. That was just in case we needed to use it for a resident. If we had to go in and rescue a resident, or if we were on a call and we needed spare life jackets. Cabela's in Noblesville was kindly enough to donate $100 worth of those. So we now have those as in our array of things. I am gonna encourage everybody to please stay out of floodwaters. There are so many chemicals and sewer backups. You don't know what's in the water right now. There's in Anderson, I know there's diesel and other things in the water. So everybody's just kind of urging everybody to stay out of the floodwaters. That's about all I have. Again, thank you to our fire department for everything they did, coming in and staying the night and everything like that. Great job, guys. Does anybody have any questions?
Good, thanks,
Awesome.
Jessica. Okay. All right.
Okay, at this time, we are going to have a presentation by Jones and Henry. Jones and Henry was contracted by us to give us a water model of our system and the thought and things of that of a new water tower here to meet the capacity and demands of our system. Also, keep in mind with the fire department presence that we have today, if we do get a new water tower, that will help me provide them the substance to put out a fire. Better provide, I will put that way. With the idea of where we plan on putting this, it will definitely boost the pressure in south end of Edgewood. So I would like at this time, I'm gonna have Jones and Henry representatives come up. This is Jeff over here. Sorry, Jeff, I don't remember your last name.
Okay, Kershaw, Jeff.
This is Steve, and I know he's got a Polish name, starts with an R and ends with ski. So, and if I try to pronounce it, it would be bad. So, I'm gonna turn it over to these guys. I don't have a presentation or an actual booklet for all that are in the audience for you guys to look through as they talk about it. I did give one to all the council. I'm pretty positive we're not gonna vote on anything tonight or do anything. Yeah, we can, just it's a mock-up picture of what the tower would look like. But anyway, yeah, we can pass two of them around. You already know.
I don't.
But anyway, if Steve and Jeff would like to come up and.
Actually, I'm gonna let Steve talk first.
I guess it's hot in here, there's a lot to talk about, so make it quick.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it, Don. So yeah, so I'm Steve Rakowski, and yeah, we were first reached out to because kind of like Don mentioned, you know, right now you've got 60,000 gallon capacity in your current water tower. You're using a little under 200,000 a day. If you have a max day scenario, you could be up to 400,000 to 500,000 with, you know, summer irrigation, people filling their pools and or coming back from long camping trips and washing their clothes. So in those scenarios, if you had a fire, you really don't maybe have all the water that you want to have. And so IDEM has kind of been talking with Don and the town to kind of see what we can do to address this issue. We looked at the system hydraulically. We looked at 4 different locations. Windsor Park, the farm property to the southwest of the town of Edgewood. Oh, that way, sorry. I stood up and I turned my bearings around. Windsor Park's also kind of over this way. And then there is a church southeast of town. I can't remember the name of the church, but it's actually outside of the town. And then another property down by the railroad. And based on all of that, the best 2 options were either the farm property to the west or Windsor Park. Both the church and railroad were so far away from your treatment plant, and some of the distribution lines are pretty small going over there. You would really struggle to fill it and to kind of utilize it, you know, fully for the system. It's a lot better to have the tower more central. There was some advantages to the farm property in the terms of possibly serving water customers outside of the town of Edgewood, but you have to acquire some property, and are they willing to sell, and how much they want to sell for. You know, it could potentially derail the project. So we kind of settled on the Windsor Park site as there really wasn't any negatives. It's got a good hydraulically, it's pretty centrally located. We don't need to get any easements. You know, the town has full control of that property. So that was one of the things the model identified. the next thing that we looked at was the different types of tower technology. You know, back in the 60s, 50s and 60s, people really weren't thinking about different types of towers, right? It was all just, here you go, it's a steel collar. It was more of, do you want columns? You want it just to be a standard bowl? But now the technology's changed a lot. So there's 3 main options. You can still get a steel tank like you got now. The pro is upfront, that costs the cheapest. But the cons is that every 15 to 20 years, both the wet interior, the dry interior, and the exterior needs to be coated. And that can get expensive. You know, a lot of communities I'm working with, they need to spend $300,000 to repaint the tower. And they're telling me, well, you know, back in 1960 when we built it, it only cost $250,000. And so that's something to consider when you're thinking about kind of the long-term maintenance. There is a composite base, which is a concrete base with a steel top, and that is the most expensive option and really isn't the best option for Edgewood, because that's typically, I mean, Anderson has one of those, and it's typically for like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million gallons. It's for really large tanks. So they have a steel top and then a concrete collar. What we found is you can get a composite base with glass fused steel plates on top. And I've got a markup here. Obviously, color-wise, we can do different things. I kept the kind of the blue from the glass fused steel on the top and then made it white and kind of took the green from your website, and that's kind of what I created. So you can kind of visually see what that looks like. So I think this tank gives the town the most optionability. So right now we're proposing at 250,000 gallons or 250,000, but you could upgrade it. You can add layers in the future. So if you ever wanted to get it to 300 or 350,000, and let's say you want to maybe eliminate your other tank and then but still have that amount of capacity, as long as we build in the correct foundation, you can always, they can jack it up and basically add layers. So it has that functionality. It has almost no maintenance costs because again, it's glass fused steel panels. I think every like 50 to 60 years, they might need a little bit of recoating, but again, this versus every 15 years, huge difference. There should be, the next page, if you look at, I don't have it in front of me, but there is the cost comparison. And basically, I think on a 60-year life cycle, you're looking at like 120,000 for the glass fuse, where both other tank options are in the million range over the course of that amount of time. So we developed a preliminary engineering report. We had a presentation with Landmark that kind of went through all the options. I think we had some pretty good discussion and alignment with this option. So the next step really is to secure funding. And so that's what my partner Jeff is going to help with, is kind of look at, in addition to SRF, what other funding options are available for the town to achieve this goal. I think we've studied it, we've engineered it, and hey, this is the best solution for the town. So now it comes down to how do we get funding so that the project can be a reality. And I guess before Jeff talks, I'll open it up if you guys have any initial questions, or if anyone in the crowd has any questions on our recommendation and the proposed tank. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I do. What's the lifespan of the current tower? I mean, is it?
So I get that question a lot, and I'm formerly a Michigan guy, actually.
Can you repeat the question, because
Oh.
we're live streaming?
Oh, sorry. The question was, what's the life expectancy of the current water tower? And so, to that, what I would say is, I'm actually from Michigan, relocating down to Fort Wayne, working with the Jones and Henry team. And so I always would refer to people, so how long would the Mackinac Bridge last?
Can you just answer the question?
I guess what I would say is that as long as you continue to keep up on the maintenance and continue to coat it, if the metal is never bare and it doesn't rust, we don't know necessarily how long it could last, but you have to keep on the maintenance.
Yeah, I think the answer you're looking for is it depends on how well it's been maintained up until now.
Okay.
And I don't believe there has been a full survey of the tank done. Part of the need for the tank at this point is simply that you need a much larger tank than what you've got.
So,
Okay. Can I follow up to that?
yeah, okay, so we did a tank inspection last year. That was part of the, state's requirement, so I had that done. Within 3 years of that particular, assessment of the tank, we're gonna have to go in, drain it, and recoat the inside. It does have some, deterioration to it on the inside. And in my maintenance theory, I plan on having that done in 28. They told me I had 3 years to get it done by the professionals that came in and done that. I actually have video and different things of that nature, so if you ever wanna see that, I have that. But, like you said, as long as we do the maintenance on it, it'll be okay. But it's like anything, it does have a lifespan to it. But I do, regardless of what we do here today and what we decide, that tank's definitely gonna have some, it's gonna have to be, washed and recoated on the inside and things like that. Cause we're never gonna get this particular project off before we would ever be able to, abandon or do away with that tank and just go to the one. But in 28 is my plan to have that, cleaned and redone.
Start to finish, what time frame would you be looking at from start to finish?
So I think the goal is in 2026 and early 2027 to secure funding, work on design through 27, start construction in 28.
Okay, but from the moment you start excavating and pouring a foundation, how long would it take to put a?
Probably 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
So the better part of a whole construction season.
Okay. Okay.
My turn.
Your turn.
Thank you. For everybody who doesn't know us, Jones and Henry is a engineering firm. We focus specifically on water and wastewater work. We're celebrating our 100th year in business this year. Water and wastewater is the only thing we do. We don't do NDOT projects. We don't do fire stations. Sorry, guys, but we'll get you tower. We don't do schools. We've stayed pretty focused, but as sure. Oh yeah, actually I need one for my own guidance, but I've got an extra. This isn't very exciting stuff. The PER that we put together for you currently is a requirement for funding for the state revolving fund. What that PER does, it says, hey, we've looked at our needs, the equipment we've got, what we need to plan for in the future. We've discussed all the options, and we think this is the best way moving forward. Similar to the state revolving fund is the Okra program. In the packages I've given you, I kind of gleaned as much information as I could from the Okra website. We could spend well over an hour talking about this, but we're not going to. Peruse them at your leisure, but the gist of it is, it's federal funding available to you. It's administered through the state Okra program. There are monies available for both planning, which is planning and design, and then there are also monies available for construction phase. Currently, out of our Fort Wayne office, we're working with clients who we have, I guess, 3 current SRF projects, with over $20 million in built construction. We have one grant funded through the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act that we were able to secure for a water utility. That was about, I don't remember, it was $4.5 or $4.8 million. We also have a $580,000 Oprah grant project with a water utility. So we're familiar with the process. We've been through it before with past clients. For you, the town would very definitely qualify for Oprah program funding. There's an explanation of that. The Okra information is primarily on the left side of your package. It talks about what the purpose of it is, how it operates, what monies are available to you. It's based on your community income. It's based on your utility or your community and utility the rates for your utilities. So there's some variables in there, but you most certainly would qualify. The process, the first direction you would go would be with the planning grant. Okra makes $30,000 available per utility for up to $90,000 for both water, wastewater, and stormwater. Okra's preference is that if you have all three of those utilities, their preference is for you to submit and try to gain funding for all three. So in theory, you have $90,000 available for you because they want you to look at your whole utility system holistically, and they want you to look out 20 years so you're not doing things that create problems in the future, or so you're being most efficient in the way you're spending your monies. In the planning grant, there is, I believe, it's an 8% matching fund requirement. So if you were to apply for all three utility planning grants, that $90,000 would cost you $7,200 as a matching grant from the town. Now, the other nice thing about federal and state agencies, they're very similar, except they're completely different. They are working hand in hand, and it is possible, since you're also theoretically pursuing SRF money, the money you borrow from the SRF can actually be applied as your matching funding for the Okra grant. So it would reduce the actual amount of money you've got to come up with out of pocket or out of a capital improvements fund. The first course of action I've included on the right page in Okra calendar, and I highlighted the opening and closing dates for the different programs available. There are 3 rounds of planning grant opportunities. The next one starts in September. It opens and closes in October, on October 4th. After that, there'll be another one starting in November that doesn't close, I don't believe, until January of the following year. So it's a fairly constant cycle on the planning side of it. So if it's something you want to pursue, when you're ready, there should be a program just about to start up. Now, the planning grant gives you money and funding to look at your utilities in some ways in a very similar way to the PER that Steve's been referencing for your water tower project. In that event, or in that application, if you pursue funding for all 3 utilities, you obviously are not going to have nearly the time expenditure or money spent on the water side necessarily, which lets you look at the other 3 grants. Ultimately, at the end of your planning grant funding, you have to produce a report to them. That's on the right side of your pocket. It goes over the minimum planning requirements for the report. Again, in many ways, it's very similar to the PER that we put together for the state revolving fund. The water report will be pretty easy to put together. Honestly, you're probably 85% there already with the SRF PER. Again, it gives you that opportunity to concentrate maybe on your other utilities. Sounds like you've definitely got some I&I issues, stormwater issues. Yeah, there are lots of ways that, to Okra's credit, they want you to look at all of your utilities. Then also in that right pocket are a couple examples of block grant paperwork and some of the contracts and the items that you'll go through. There's lots and lots of paperwork to address. In order to help you with that, Okra has community liaisons on the package on the left side of your envelope with the state of Indiana on it. It breaks it up into the 5 areas. These are Okra personnel specifically tasked with different geographies of the state. Your representative is Molly Markison. Molly's very new. She just started in June of this year. I don't know Molly, but fortunately just above Molly in the northeast sector, I worked a lot with Lindsay Hammond. so I can bounce questions off of her. I'm sure she, to some degree, will be providing some guidance to Molly, but they're kind of the, I guess, the hall monitor of the whole process that helps you get through the application process, the grant process, and then they will also need for you at some point down the road to acquire a certified grant administrator. That's this package in the back of the left side, and that's a list of, I believe, all the current certified grant administrators in the state. Some of them cover the entire state, some of them are geographically focused. I can tell you, the one that I've worked extensively with is on page 5. Fourth down, Shannon McLeod. She is now with Baker Tilly. So if you need a financial advisory group, I would highly recommend them. We're not affiliated with them in any way, but I've worked with them for probably 20 years. And I think they work well with communities. Shannon has previously been in her own, she had her own business as a certified grant administrator. Baker Tilly in the last year and a half has hired her because they want to expand their abilities in that area. Beyond that, I've worked with a woman by the name of Madeline Say Bartles, but I believe Madeline kind of focuses more on the northeast part of the state. The only other grant administrator I've worked with over the last, nearly 25 years is Christy Sturts, who is next to the last page, 4 from the top. She does work all over the state, but she works specifically only in the planning area. I would recommend any of them highly. I'm sure everybody on here is gonna know their stuff. It's a challenge sometimes to keep up with state and federal requirements, but they do a great job of it. I've also included on that left side just a reference of the governor's most recent announcement of grants. It gives you an idea of what different types of grants are available. Part of the reason I included this is that CDBG money goes beyond just water, wastewater, and stormwater utility. There's downtown planning and restoration. There's all sorts of stuff that the community may be interested in, so I want to make sure you knew about that as well. Beyond that, I guess I don't want to turn it into a long presentation. There's cake waiting for us. So, but I guess the long and the short of it is you're in the process with the PER to pursue low interest funding through the SRF. The SRF traditionally has one round of funding annually. If you don't make the top priority scoring or cutoff, there are monies available after the fact, which they reference are called pool funding, which essentially is money that was turned down by usually the top 10 finishers. To give you a frame of reference, I think there was $1.2 billion requested last year. I believe they had 50 million available in funding. Does that sound right? Anyway, there's a lot of need out there. So once you get in the process, it's especially on the Okra side, it's good to get in early, but get in with all your ducks in a row. Make sure your reports are complete and clean. Become known to the people in the program. Oh, which is another item. On the left side of your pocket, there's a sheet here. Okra announces regional conferences across the state. The closest one for you, I believe, is Noblesville. That's on September 23rd. It would be fabulous if some of you wanted to attend that and just start becoming a familiar face to everyone down there. I absolutely believe familiarity and relationship makes a difference in how you're assessed and how quickly you move up the process. Okra is nice that if you meet their requirements and you're diligent and a little dogged, you will eventually get there and receive some kind of funding. The timeline, though, is the place where you can really help it, again, with interaction and contact, support from everybody in the community, reaching out, getting to know your people, and just generally, I don't want to say making it a rah-rah event, but get the community behind it. Don't be afraid to reach out, ask questions. But yeah, it's a process. It's not an easy process, but all of the people on that list have done it hundreds of times. I've done it probably a dozen in 25 years, but yeah, it's a good program. But you will have to start with an Okra specific utility study. So that, like I said, that next opportunity to apply for that comes, I believe, in October. So if we can help you, we'd be glad to. If you need any recommendations or people, again, I've got kind of limited contact with them, but I know it's a good program and a good process. I'll quit talking and be glad to answer any questions you might have. The nice thing about Okra is they, by and large, are all grant money. So other than a 8 or 10, I think in some instances 12% matching funds, it's essentially free money.
And Jeff, like we talked about when we had that meeting, you brought up the point that not only just the Okra funds, the matching funds, there also might be an opportunity for some 0% financing if we need to go that route. There's a lot of different paths that we can go down.
Right.
And we're just this is the tip of the iceberg. And as this process continues to evolve, we'll have more meetings and more information for the general public. And we want everybody involved because it's a resident's decision as well as the board's decisions.
Right. Yeah, the 0% money that you referenced comes specifically through the SRF program. We've currently got a project that has IIJA grant money, SRF zero interest money, SRF low interest pool money, and Okra grant money. So it's your tax dollars being well spent. But yeah, again, they're good programs, they serve the communities well, but it's not to be taken lightly, and it's gonna take a little while.
Takes a little work.
Takes a little work.
All right, are there any questions for Steve and Jeff?
I must have done fabulous. Thank you.
Everybody wants cake.
All right, before I end my tenure up here, I forgot to mention on September 1st, we are going to flush hydrants again. It's that time of year, gotta do it every year. I know what the pressures are, know what how they work and everything, but that is part of the job, gotta do it. It is mandatory through the state, so we will do that. We will also be very courteous of the amount of water that's already on the ground. Hopefully in a couple of weeks, that all subsides out. Also on the 21st of September, that is when we get the third filter at the plant rebuilt. That will be 3 in basically a year's time. We did 2 last year. Like I said earlier, next year we will do the 4th filter, and then following that in 28 we will do the water tower. To clarify, that's standard maintenance. That's standard maintenance on that needs to be done. Also, I'm going to get a list of where we will start. We start the same place every year on our hydrant list. I will ask Councilman Pickett to post that on the website, so you might be able to see where we start and where we finish. We basically start in North Edgewood and we finish on Village. Also, Todd, I have 2 years of the flushing that I have done. It shows all the pressures, it shows the flows, shows hazards of what I believe is around for when you guys go to hook up and things like that. If you wanna wait, I will have all that done again by, I imagine the next council meeting is gonna be the 21st of September. I should have all those calculations, everything done, and you can absolutely have copies of the last 3 years, or if you just want this year or last year and this year, whatever you like, you'd be happy to share with you. My final thing is with Jones and Henry being here today, when we first started with Jones and Henry, I was very, very happy with them. Then we hit a speed bump and I got very upset. But with dealing with Jeff and Steve, and then the last time they were here with their presentation, my faith is completely back in this company. I really do appreciate the work that you guys have done. I didn't want to tell you guys that in person. I wanted to do it right here on live TV. So I do appreciate everything you guys have done, and I thank you, and hopefully we're going to build something really good for the town.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle. Give us a financial report on the Edgewood Golf Diamond and Event Center, please.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, council members.
Good evening.
Thank you for allowing me an excuse to not be here last month. I appreciate that. Pass those down. So I'm gonna report to you year-to-date through June 30th, so this is through quarter two. We have 3 reports in your packet. We have a balance sheet, comparative this time last year versus this time this year. Then we're gonna talk about the profit and loss by class report. And then lastly, there's a profit and loss combined report. I'm gonna start with the balance sheet. And I wanna report that our cash position as of the end of June was $121,874. This time last year was $132,570. We are down just slightly compared to this time last year, which probably most likely is a timing of different bills that we've been paying. As I have reported in the past, we have some new capital purchases. We have the new cart path, which you see there towards 2/3 of the way down the page for $65,193. On the next page, we had purchased a new mower for $54,453. And we have security cameras for $5,033. If you turn to the last page, we've got 3 different debts sitting on the book. We've got our new note with State Bank. It is at 7.09% interest. We have 1 annual payment of $43,000. It is a 6-year loan. The first payment will be due November 13th of 2026. We have a note with the town for half of the cost of the cart path. And then lastly, we have a note with Wells Fargo for the mower that I mentioned in the previous page, and that is at $716 a month. It's a $26,000 note for 36 months. Does anyone have any questions about the balance sheet? Moving on. Okay, let's look at the profit and loss by class report. I know you guys always race to that second page. So we'll start there. So let's go on the second page of this report. Our overall net profit through June 30th is $16,689. So we've got different classes that make up that profit. We've got the golf course, we've got the pool, and then we've got the event center. We all know the pool's not being operative right now. We have had some expenses on the pool, we've had some insurance, we've had a few repairs. However, the golf course and the event center is our main sources of income. And the golf through June 30th has a net income of $80,674. The restaurant and pub has a net loss of $60,439 for a net overall profit of $16,689. So if I go back to page 1, at the top, your income coming from golf, this is gross revenue of $254,034 through the end of June. The restaurant is $258,155.94 through the end of June. We have cost of goods sold. So for golf, we have total cost of goods sold of $45,172. And for the restaurant pub, we have $89,103.80. Our overall gross profit for golf is $208,862, and for the restaurant is $169,052. I've got several expenses down here. I'm not going to go through every single one of them. We do spend some money in advertising. I think it's working. As you will see when we get to our consolidated profit and loss, our gross revenues are up compared to this time last year. It's golf's peak season, so we're spending money on chemicals, golf repairs, and golf supplies. Our insurance is remaining consistent with this time last year. You'll see that on the consolidated profit and loss. We've got our payroll. If you'll look on the restaurant and pub, the bulk of our expense is in our payroll. It's a service industry, so that makes sense. On the last page, we've got depreciation expense. This is primarily for golf because that is most of the equipment on the books. We have a small depreciation expense of $8,039, which is the building and some improvements. And then the interest paid, that is primarily golf, that is on the golf carts. Any questions on the profit and loss by class report? Nope, okay, last report. This is a consolidated profit and loss comparative, January through June of this year through January through June of this time last year. So I want to point out on the top of the page, our total income, gross revenue is $512,190. This time last year was $472,570. That's an increase of $39,619. Our cost of goods sold, I want to point out, it's gone down slightly. We have gone through the end of June this year, $134,275. This time last year was $136,126. We are spending some more money in advertising and marketing. I think it's working. I think you're getting more business. If I move on down the page, insurance, you'll see at $16,009 this year versus $16,371. We've remained consistent. No increases in our premiums. Our payroll, I thought this was interesting, so I think it's a good visual for time management on some of the staff. But our payroll wages are down $23,000 compared to this time last year. On the last page, supplies and equipment. I think we've tightened our belts a little bit. We've spent $7,487 this year compared to $10,916 last year. So overall, we have a net profit of $16,689 compared to a loss last year of $34,984. I think that's commendable. It's a good job.
Takes a village.
Yes, it does. So that's all I have. Do you have any more questions? Any questions, actually?
Well, this is actually a solid report.
I'm just reporting your numbers. But thank you.
Any questions for Michelle?
No problem. Not at all.
Okay.
I learned more about water and towers than I did before I walked in the door.
Thanks for what you do for us.
You're very welcome. All right, have a nice evening.
You too.
Okay, now we can get back on track. Mr. Ackerman, police report.
In the month of July, we had 118 calls for service. Nothing serious had popped up on that. We had 9 ordinance first letters sent and 1 second letter sent. So we're sending out the letters and people are taking them seriously and getting things taken care of. We do have 1 court case coming up. I have not heard back from the homeowner, and neighbors said they were gonna mow his yard for him, but I have not heard back anything from the homeowner, that he's taking care of business, so he has a court date with us, and we'll go up there and talk to him about it. One thing I do want to address is that we have in the and this is this month, this is not July, but I wanted to address this now. We have had a couple of Alzheimer's citizens recognized around town. We've been on one of them 3 or 4 times already, and the other one I think twice. So we want, there's a thing called Project Lifesaver. If you guys don't know about this, they'll get a bracelet that transmits a radio signal. Emergency management has the receiver. They come out and point the receiver, and we can track somebody down. So if there's an Alzheimer's patient who gets away, you know, it's an important program to get involved with, and we're trying to lean the families into that so that they're not, you know, having to deal with this by themselves.
What's it called?
Project Lifesaver. So, you know, if you see somebody walking around like they don't know what they're doing, call 911 immediately. Get us out there so we can find them. The one citizen we're starting to get recognized more from our department, so we kind of know who he is, and if we see him out and about. He kind of takes walks, but then forgets how to get back home, so we want to watch that. I think that's all the serious news I have. On a much happier note, 2 weeks ago tomorrow night, we held our 3rd annual National Night Out, and it was we estimate we had about 350 people there, which is a lot higher than the first 2 years. The first 2 years, the first year we had 200, the second year I think we were around 190 to 200. So 350 up is a good deal. And something I had heard before this year is we didn't know what was going on. So I invested signs. We put, I don't know if you saw our signs that were posted on all 4 corners of town, right next to the Welcome to Edgewood signs. We got those, the National Night Out folks sell signs, but they're date stamped, so I'd have to spend $400 every year. So I spent $400 once for reusable signs. So even though it's opioid grant money, I don't wanna buy signs, use them for a month and throw them in the trash. So we can reuse these over and over again. I am still hearing feedback. Just Friday, I heard, somebody else said it was a great, I won't call it a party, but it kind of is a party. We had a lot of community involvement. I talked to some people who residents of Edgewood go to my church, and they said we didn't know all these organizations were out here for us. That they had no clue they could talk to these organizations. So we're making connections, which is the whole point of the National Night Out. It's just to show you what, what's the word I'm thinking of?
Resources?
Resources, thank you. It's what, I was trying to think of a fancy word, but yeah, what resources are out there for you. You know, having the health department there, emergency management, I keep calling the autism people, more behavioral health, change your behavior, that's what it was. Just having groups like that come out and say, hey, here's what we've got, it's available for you if you need it, so. Maybe it was the free food that brought people out too, I don't know. But, well, free for them, wasn't free for some of us, but. It was a really good night, and, you know, it's kinda, I don't like to, you know, toot my own horn, but, you know, it makes me proud to see this involvement that we're getting here. You know, we're not just a police department who shows up when bad things happen. We're trying to reach out, you know, when it's not bad and say, hey, we're here for you, here's our people. And in one aspect of that, I was asked if we could bring some of our reserve officers in so that the council could meet them, because you typically don't see them. They don't work too many hours because they have full-time jobs other places. So I brought Natalie Greiner in today. This wave, there's Natalie. She's been with us for what, about a year? Over a year, okay. And she's, you know, the services she's providing, it helps us staff our hours and you know, cover town too. So I'd like to thank Natalie for her work that she's done for us. And that's about all I have.
Did you have a new officer?
No.
Full-time?
We've switched officers. One of our officers decided to step back from full-time work because he didn't like midnights. I can understand. I worked midnights for about 20 years myself, so. He wanted to go work full-time for the schools and stay on part-time with us. So we did that, and we elevated, Carly, we use her new name, Davenport. She was here a month or two ago. So she's now our full-time officer, one of our full-time officers, so. Little shuffling around in the department, but nothing huge.
I had, not to be sexist or anything like that, I had a little concern about a female officer by herself at night, but Randy and Chad both informed me that all the surrounding towns, when they hear a female officer needing assistance, they all converge. So I felt very good about knowing that she would have.
It's not just a female officer.
Well,
we call at night too, they come too.
Yeah,
but
As well as her background.
Yeah.
As well as her background.
Yeah, her working with Indianapolis Metro.
If you haven't met her.
This is a cakewalk compared to Indianapolis Metro where she used to work.
If you see her around, please say hi to her. She's very approachable.
She may actually be in the office right
Okay.
now.
Yeah,
She
she's
came on
very
duty an hour and a half ago. So.
And you might even see her out there on a white bicycle.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know how much bike she'll be riding at nighttime, but.
I do night rides. Okay, all right, any questions for Captain Ackerman?
No questions, but I'd like to say, I think you did a very, very good job with this night out.
Yep,
And
outstanding.
we appreciate all the effort and time that you spent. And your wife. We appreciate her too.
Speaking of the devil.
There's Carly.
Guys, hi. What we doing? What we talking about?
We're talking about.
Talking about you.
Just you part-time to full-time.
Oh, yeah.
That's all we're talking about, so. She'll be around town and daytimes, probably on the bike a little bit too, so,
It's not raining.
yeah. So, that's all.
Okay.
You don't need to stay tonight or anything. August 3rd, 2027, mark the date. That'll be the next National Night Out, so.
And we will have a town presence for that.
Yeah.
We'll have a booth.
Okay.
What was that date? I'm sorry.
August 3rd, 2027. Do you mind me sharing that? Mr. Lee came up to me the night of, and he said that the council wants to set up a table, because they didn't recognize a lot of the residents out there, so you can look for them next year too. I've already got a spot reserved for them.
Very good. So what happens when we outgrow that space?
I don't know.
There's parking and then there's.
I did hear a parking issue.
Could we go to the Edgewood School?
Well, and shuttle. We
Yeah.
have to shuttle
Yeah.
people.
We could do like we used to do for the fireworks, we could
Yeah.
get something like that going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And that'd be a good thing to
Yeah.
outgrow.
Oh,
And my
absolutely.
committee's actually meeting Sunday night. You know, what was good, what was bad, what can we change, make better, back off on, so I will bring that up and see what we come up with, 'cause it's.
Good. Thank you.
I had somebody saying somebody's trying to pull in his driveway to park.
Ooh, no.
All right, thank you, Captain Hoffman.
Thank you, sir.
Member reports, Mr. Reed,
I don't have anything to add, Randy.
Ms. Farren.
I think Don took care of mine.
Okay. I defer to the fire report that has already been given.
No, I got something.
Of course, you always do.
You know that. Why did they groan? If you've seen our Facebook page, the town Facebook page, Don has replaced the pickleball net over there. We had some people this weekend holding a tournament over there, so it was put to great use. There's also been some signs posted at various parks in regards to cameras and video surveillance. And we do have those cameras ordered, and they're not installed yet because they're coming, but they will be installed, and that's more of a deterrent than anything else. Just what I always explained to people when I was still in the working workforce. You're always on camera. Just treat your life like you're always on camera. I got more. I know Art and I had discussed this, but coming up in 2030 is the 100-year anniversary of the town of Edgewood. So expect some information on that soon, and we'll probably be putting a committee together soon because we want to get that out and up and ready to go. I had contacted NDOT about the speed limits out here. They haven't got back with me, but I'll keep reaching out for
Hopefully do
that.
that.
Yeah.
So when we put together the committee for the 100th celebration, we really would like for the committee to be made up primarily of residents. We'll have some council members that will obviously serve on that. So if you think you might be interested, please let us know. Okay, because I don't think we want to wait a year out. I think at least 2 years out, we need to begin to start planning that celebration.
And last but not least, we're having incidents of e-bikes in our parks, on our e-motos, sorry, you're right. E-moto, look that up, it's the non-pedal kind. You'll see some signage and probably an ordinance in regards to e-bikes and e-motos in the near future. Just remind everybody, tell your kids, tell your parents, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your brother, tell your sister, don't ride on the parks with your electric motorcycle. Don't ride on the golf course with anything other than the golf carts provided that you rent at the golf course. If you're caught destroying the golf course, you will be financially responsible for it. That's all I can say about that. Thank you.
Rob,
Yeah.
what about the damage to the tennis court?
We don't know anything about that yet. That's what drove the cameras and the signs.
Is that the net is what you're talking about?
Oh, the damage to the pickleball court?
Well, there was some damage from someone doing fireworks.
No, it was the paint on the ground. that was damaged. Don would be able to explain that a little bit more. The damage from the fireworks.
They let the fireworks off on the painted surface. They did,
Minimal damage.
it's minimal damage. I mean, you can go out there and you'll be able to pick out where it happened. But we picked up all the remnants of what was left that they didn't pick up, which was quite a bit. We got it cleaned up. But I pleaded last month to, nobody ever light fireworks off on the basketball court or the tennis courts or the pickleball courts or in any of our parks ever again. Doesn't matter what year it is, what time of year, or, just, please don't ever do that again, so. But, I mean, eventually, there's probably the whole thing with weather and leaves and everything that's on it, spilled drinks and everything that happens, and eventually it's gonna probably be repainted at some time.
Mr. McCord?
We finally got the signs in for the condo streets. They should be up within the next couple weeks.
You hope.
We hope.
Yeah.
We hope. With everything going on.
The rain
I get
holds
it,
off.
I get it. But they did come in and we do have those.
I do have.
During the weather, that we had all the rain, since I'm street commissioner, I did take a tour of the town and I think the drainage worked good. There was a few areas that had some standing water. But considering that we had, 10 inches of water within a 48-hour period, I think the town did quite well. So there wasn't any problems there, and that's all I have.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Mr. Austin, town attorney report.
Yeah, thank you. Not a whole lot in the legal department. Randy did refer to the fact that we have an ordinance violation case that is scheduled for hearing next week. And as a reminder, we're filing our Edgewood ordinance violation cases in Elwood City Court. We had one that we filed involving a dilapidated vehicle that should not have been parked in a driveway. That was resolved, so the case was dismissed. We have another one set for hearing next week, and it involves failure to keep a yard in a neat and orderly manner. So when someone's given the letter requesting their cooperation and they don't cooperate and clean up whatever has to be cleaned up, that's when we can file the ordinance violation and get them in front of the judge in Elwood. So that, so I think it's really a system that's working fairly well. So we'll keep you updated about this new violation, and we just have the two right now, when again, one's been dismissed.
Okay.
Beyond that, I did prepare just a brief ordinance about the update to the tree ordinance, and that was, I think, primarily work from Rob's committee. And I don't know if you want to consider that tonight, but I think everybody needs to go through that in depth, make sure the language is suitable, and see if there's any corrections or recommendations.
Okay. Why don't we table that for this month? Everybody take the opportunity to take a look at it, and then we'll review it in the September council meeting.
Okay, and if there are changes, I might communicate with Rob or communicate with me. So we'd welcome that feedback, and that's all from the legal department.
He sent that by email? Today. Okay, all right. Okay. Any questions for Mr. Austin? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Serby's engineer report?
He's got to work his way through the crowd.
Well, Catherine gave me a printout for the streets of Edgewood, and of course NDOT likes to make it difficult, so they've broken a lot of the streets up into small segments that every one of them has to be looked at and evaluated, and then turn that in, and that's what I'll get with you about, Brian. Do you want me to print you a copy, Brian, of the manuals?
That'd be awesome.
Because there's manuals that I downloaded and everything when I went to Purdue for that school, and I can print you copies, and you know,
Sure.
you'll have something you can look at too.
Sure.
see what we can do.
I'd appreciate that, thank you.
No problem. And I'll get with you and Don and kind of any areas that you guys noticed that we might have had some drainage that we need to look at. We do have some that we looked at before that we've got that we need to do. I know Art's area is one of them. Also out here in front of the fire department and the utility office, is gonna need some work. Maybe we can try to get rid of Lake Catherine out there. So we need to do a little bit of field work there too, so we'll get all that done. Once we have it, at least we'll have it and we can identify the priorities of what we need to do. Other than that, that's about all, unless anybody's got any questions for me or anything.
Any questions for Mr. Service? Hearing none? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Tanner, Clerk Treasury Report?
Did you want to bring up the resolution to reduce the budget, or do you want me to start?
Yeah, you've got the background, Catherine, so go ahead and provide that. But I think there is a resolution.
Yeah, we've got it.
You consider it under new business.
After meeting with the Department of Local Government Finance, we went through setting up the budget, what kind of funds we have. And since we're not gonna be paving, the cost of it is gonna be a 80-20 instead of 75-25. So our portion's gonna be less than what we had anticipated earlier. And we have enough money in NBH to cover the funding or the printing of paving we wanna do. So all I'm only asking is that we reduce the 2026 budget by $50,000. And that would be from the local roads and streets fund.
Okay, that's the resolution we have in front of us?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, questions?
Now, you did say that we will have enough money to match the funds to get our paving done with this $50,000 reduction.
Right.
Now,
With
I'm sorry.
the community crossings grant.
Okay. So where is this $50,000 going to? Is it going to another?
No, it stays in that
It's just a
fund,
reduction of, okay.
so it can be put into the 2027 budget.
So our 2027 budget will be reduced as far as the streets and roads are concerned by $50,000.
26.
26. Okay.
If you have any questions later, just ask me.
You okay?
Seems like it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Is that all? Yeah. Is that all you have? Okay. All right, we have a resolution on the table to reduce the 2026 budget by $50,000. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilwoman Farren and second by Councilman Reed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, resolution number 08-17-26, a resolution reducing the 2026 budget by $50,000. Whereas the town of Edgewood, Madison County, Indiana, has determined that it is necessary to reduce the 2026 budget by $50,000 in order to fund the 2027 budget. Be it therefore ordained by the Town Council of the Town of Edgewood, Madison County, Indiana, that the reduction be made per fund. The local roads and streets, LRS, will be reduced by $50,000. Passed and adopted by the Town Council of the Town of Edgewood this 17th day of August 2026. All those in favor of approving Resolution 0717-26, resolution reducing the 2026 budget by $50,000, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, resolution passes. Okay, I need you guys to sign that. Okay, old business. Is there any old business that we need to discuss tonight?
I have one small item.
Okay?
Okay, last month, we had someone that was concerned about animal treatment in the town of Edgewood relating to our ordinance or lack of meat in our ordinance. And I did talk with Malia Stringer, and I'm going to get with Mr. Austin and see if we can update our animal ordinance regarding the care of dogs and the treatment of dogs in Edgewood. It makes a lot of sense the way Anderson has it written, so it shouldn't be too hard to move it over.
Okay, so these recommendations are based on what we asked her to do when she was here last month?
It's the Anderson City ordinance.
Okay.
And she sent it to me, and I think it would work perfectly.
Okay, you might, at some point, you might want to bring Mr. Reed up to date because he wasn't here for last month. Okay. All right, is there
That's all I
anything, okay, any other old business? Okay, I do have one. We had talked last month about the possibility of having a second townwide cleanup. And I still think it's a great idea. So we will be looking at doing another townwide cleanup sometime between the month of September and October. When we had the last one back in June, we had to close it down after being up July, okay, was up for about 4 hours, and both dumpsters were completely full, and we still had residents that had items that they wanted to throw out. I think since most of us have spring and fall cleanups around our houses, it would be a great idea for us to have a fall cleanup for the town as well. So keep your lookout for that. Sometime between September and October, we will do another townwide cleanup and have some dumpsters over at the Edgewood Golf Dining and Event Center. Okay? Would you guys be interested in seeing the second one? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
If I could make a comment.
Go ahead.
Could we have maybe one, the spring in the north and the fall one in the south?
The problem is you won't, there's, where are you gonna locate the dumpster in the south?
Maybe one of the park areas?
I don't know if they'll put their trucks in grass.
Okay,
And as heavy as those dumpsters were,
Yeah.
and as full as they were,
Yeah, we'll do more we'll do
Yeah.
damage.
and my suggestion is, I was talking to Randy about it, if we can afford it, do two for.
Two,
Two
yep,
for yard,
and two for, yep,
household.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Okay.
We'll find the money.
Jess is right in the fact that some of the larger trucks like that, when they're contractors, they will not leave what they consider solid ground. They are not allowed to do that, so coming off into one of the parks into the grass, I can absolutely see where they would say no.
I heard you, and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
okay, yeah, we'll table that for right now. Okay, all right. No other old business? New business? Anybody have any new business? Hearing none? Okay, we'll open the floor up for comments and questions. What I would ask is, as a reminder, since we are live streaming, if you would come up to the podium, give us your name, but not necessarily where you live, because we don't want to put your address out into cyberspace. So, all right, so the floor is open.
All right. Hi. I will be short and sweet as possible. That's okay. My name's Brooke, and I am here to represent the Edgewood Pool Project Committee. We have dubbed it Pool Project because it keeps going. I'm going to just make this easy for you guys. This is a copy of what I'm going to read, and that way you have it in front of you because there's some numbers involved. I do want to point out that Ms. Farron is a committee member, but their request, this is the first time she is seeing it, to respect her position as a council member. So we wanted to keep that separate and fair and respect her position. Again, my name is Brooke Parker, Dean, and the Edgewood Pool Committee. I want to extend my gratitude to the Pool Project Committee for making our first annual golf tournament an absolute success. Thanks to their hard work, dedication, and excellent planning, the event raised an incredible $13,645 for the Pool Project Fund. Ooh, that'll be important to find later. That turns our current balance for the pool fund to $15,297. So that's been since we've started raising in December of, I think the first deposit was made in December of 2025, so not bad for 9 months. Today I'm writing you to formally request your support for an upcoming fundraising event by asking the town council to waive the greens fees for our next golf outing scheduled for October 16th. Because both the golf course and the pool are owned and operated by the town of Edgewood, this waiver represents a unique opportunity for the town to directly invest in its own infrastructure without a monetary donation physically being made. By waiving these fees, 100% of the event profits can be used entirely towards rebuilding the foundation of the Edgewood Pool, a vital asset for our community. To assist with your financial review, we have outlined the tournament cost structures below. The greens fees or the golf pro fees are currently $25 a player. They have accommodated and lowered that for us since it is a non-for-profit, but it's $25 per player. That would mean that you would be gifting us no more than $2,100 based on our 84 player cap. Standard rates for that Friday currently stand at $34 for each regular player, $29 for senior citizens, and $15 for junior players. Waiving the greens fees ensures that the money raised for each player goes directly into the pool fund. Our previous event on July 31st was a full-blown tournament, allowing us to attract larger donations and sponsors from contractors and large businesses. We were able to charge more per player to offset the $25 greens fees while also utilizing in-kind donations such as food, baskets, waters, and gift bags. However, the October 16th event would not be considered a tournament, but rather a community event. No lunch would be provided, limiting our ability to increase the cost per player. Our hope is to have a few raffle baskets along with smaller in-kind donation, but overall, this will be on a much smaller scale. Our goal is to bring Edgewood residents together to give them a chance to be a part of what we are working so hard towards, the rebuilding of our beloved pool. Thank you, council, for your time, consideration, and continued devotion to improving our community. Sorry. To cover it all, I had to read it. Do I have any questions? Good?
I'm good.
We will defer to our council member who is sitting on the pool committee.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
Who also runs that place.
Yes, it's right there.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Bob.
All right. I do have a recommendation of something that I think we should think about as a fundraiser. Is Jess still here? Okay. One of the things that a few of us were throwing around, something that we think could be kind of fun, specifically on the north side, if we do like a 5K fun run. Not just for the community, but for anybody who wants to sign up. North Edgewood would be a great place to do a 5K fun run, especially with all those hills and winding way. Because there are fun, whether it's a 5K walk or run, I mean, they pull in a lot of people. So I'd like for us to kind of throw that around. The other thing that was throwing around is possibly even doing a bike event. The local bike clubs and the Central Indiana Bike Club do a lot of bike rides for fees. There are two events that leave from Falls Park in Pendleton. one of their tracks is through Edgewood. We can take advantage of that. We can reverse that route. We can reverse it from Edgewood School to Pendleton and back. And most of those are about 20 to 25 miles, and they get close to 100 plus riders. So those are some things that I was thinking about that maybe we could look at in 2027.
Good.
Okay. Anybody else, any other questions or comments from the floor? I know it's been a long meeting. Okay. All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the July Town Council meetings, subject to one correction, Ms. Tanner. The minutes say that the fish fry is August the 3rd, the fish fry is October the 3rd. I did scratch it out, but we still need to vote on it with the necessary correction. Okay, that was corrected. Okay, so I will entertain a motion to accept
So
the
moved.
July meeting with the necessary correction.
Second.
It's been moved. Is there a property second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Entertain a motion to approve the register of claims.
So moved.
Okay, moves. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been second. We approve the register of claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? I will entertain a motion to adjourn this long meeting.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, this meeting's adjourned. I appreciate everybody's patience this evening. Thank you.
That was a lot.
The fire department is 2 buildings to the east. If you want cake and punch, celebrate with us.
You serving dinner? 'Cause I ain't eating dinner.
Good cake.
Hey Jordan, how are you? Doing well.
Rob, how
are you? I know it's a little
Another meeting here.
I can't sit that long.
Good job, everybody.
Mike.
True.
Yeah.
I got it on here, so I'll.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
Rob. We've got something that
Radioactive.
I'm typically gonna be heavier. Over 16 to right.
But I'll talk to her about that. I mean, it's a nice thought, however. I'm sure that doesn't cost. But, yeah, thanks.
Time coming day, that meeting is gonna be. Thank you, I appreciate that. Actually discuss what we are doing for the water tower, look for the grant writer and things of that nature.
Did Todd get with you about meeting Wednesday at 3 o'clock?
For the budget?
Yeah, Wednesday at 3. Todd, Wednesday at 3, right? Wednesday at 3? I'm gonna be there.
Okay. I might. Art. Second. Your daughter's Twyla?
My daughter?
Yeah.
Stacia.
Stacia.
Yes.
And how is she?
She's doing well. She's living at home. Yeah. And working out at the college.
Oh, she is?
I knew her when she was in junior high. No, she was, when she came into the office, Janet and I loved her.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
She is.
I told my son, you gotta get out the house. Told my daughter she could stay as long as she wants. So, yes. So, were you at Northside? Okay.
In the office.
Yeah, she was just talking about Northside. She loved Northside.
Oh.
She was just talking about Northside the other day.
She was. Well, tell her she hasn't been forgotten.
Okay, will do.
Are you gonna stop over?
Huh? Yeah.
But
What do you
they're-
think about Rose's French lips?
Yes. What I'm hoping is.
I thought you already made the reservation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it took 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and they were gone.
Okay, so,
The grant money, we don't have to get back.
no, okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do.
Well,
I'm gonna see how many was to come.
The one bond still, when
Well,
we did all the sewer lines.
I don't know what they.
I wanna see if any of their bundle of 33 or 35 are open, because those are, yeah, but no, those are the ones you get from RCI.
Never had.
Get those passports. I can see,
Probably usually.
they've got it.
Yeah.